Heck yeah. I thought, you know what, might as well bring out some of the actual other tracks from Wani. We arrived shortly at the loud arcade where Naomi and Nasser were... Oh wait, this needs a rewrite either or. We arrived at the arcade where Naomi and Nasser were waiting on us. Nasser naturally started smiling just seeing Olivia, even though he saw her like 5 minutes ago. Or like a second. Hey, check it out! He then pointed both of our snouts in the direction to see... Dino Time Crisis 6? Olivia blinked, rolling herself toward the machine as Nasser... He had some things to tell me. Anon, I need a favor from you. I threw my eye over the court and asked him the question. What? I need you to keep Naomi occupied. For the record, not surprised. You shouldn't be surprised. You know what the fuck the plan was, Anon! For the record, I wasn't sick. Why would you be sickened? Like, the word choice and framing on this implies to me that these guys have had, like, a really rough time. Maybe I just forgot all about the rough time they had, but man. Anon, calm down. But the look on my face must have told Nasser a different story. Just for 5 minutes. I usually like laughing at her around, but, you know, I don't know. Ever since our trip, she's just been acting strange. Not how she usually acts. I looked over her shoulder, and Naomi was none the wiser. She seemed overwhelmed by the environment, the eyes in front of her glasses blinking as if trying to figure out what to do next for whatever plan she was cooking up in her head. I was probably going to regret this, but alright. Fine, I'll keep her company. Thanks so much, Anna, you're the best! He turned around, I like how he clapped his claws together. Like, come on, don't make it that, don't do that. He turned around and reached into his flower-decorated jacket to produce a letter. I watched him approach Olivia and hand it to her, though the baryonyx was naturally perplexed by the situation. I tried to listen in using my telescopic ears, and it's just like, oh, it's a letter. And she wants to talk, and it's like, oh, don't worry, you can read it later. How about we shoot the guns now? And all I can say about this is, just, you can walk over with Nasser, you know? Or, like, not have fucking telescopic ears. Or you can have Olivia be the POV character for, like, 5 hot seconds. Or make them intermission chapters. I don't know. Leave it a mystery. And then Olivia ducked behind cover. I like how I was like, the what? Man, I wish I could do the Kazooie voice, because that's like the one you want to go for. No, it's somewhere in there. I don't know why, though. Well, at least Olivia was liking it. Maybe he could just pick it up and fix it before things happen. Give me hope. But I couldn't dwell. There's something I had to do. Distract Naomi. Distract the choral catastrophe. Naomi seemed to have adjusted to her surroundings and realized that Nasser was gone, her eyes adjusting wide-banded glasses while honing in on me. Where's Nasser? I opened my snout to provide an excuse, only to scan my environments to notice that the arcade was gigantic and packed. And I'd lost track of Nasser and Olivia. Weren't they still... How did you lose track of them? Like, how bad is your navigation skills that you just like, oh, I was standing and facing that direction. And, So I gave an honest answer. I don't know anymore. Is Anon not allowed to lie? Is he such a fucking Mary Sue he's not even allowed to lie? I've been told by someone that the actual term for, like, men is not Gary's stew, but, like, Jerry's stew or something. Oh, don't play dumb with me. You're just trying to keep me away from him. Naomi, even if I was, do you think the way you've been acting... Oh, wait. Naomi, even if I was, don't you think the way you've been acting is already creating distance between you and him? She paused, and I could see those well-oiled gears turning in her head. Perhaps recalling a moment of the moment at the hot dog cart, and she let out a strained sigh. I guess she came to the proper conclusion of how much of an impasse she was at, before turning back to me with a tight frown on her brow. Fine. I'll just have to keep an eye on you. I shrugged, realizing that my objective was being fulfilled. Suit yourself. I approached one of the nearby token machines and inserted a $5 bill. Again, I'm pretty sure nowadays they just use like little cards, you know, little credit cards. Or maybe that changed because of the pandemic. Possible. I don't know, man. I've never even been to an... I mean, I've been, actually. Realized that during the stream. That I have, in fact, visited an arcade. It's just been years ago. And it wasn't that much of an arcade. They did, however, have, you know, those light gun games. I didn't know how inserting coins worked. I did not get that the machine required money. Didn't speak English, and that's all they spoke. I resist her to frown back to her very scrutinizing gaze, since she's watching me like a hawk. Since you were going to keep an eye on me, I didn't think you meant that literally, or all the time. Well, what have you been doing anyways? Wait, you don't even know? Have you not been to an arcade before? Oh no. That's a sad thought, even though, you know, most people nowadays don't go to arcades, Anon. If anything, you're the exception here. Like, Jesus Christ, author, way to show your age, or a different culture in which going to the arcade is normal. But considering Anon lives in America, I don't think that's, you know, things change. People have phones where you can download any game you want, and they don't even cost 25 cents. Only if you want to get ripped the fuck off. Probably tons of dinos who haven't been to arcades in their childhood. You know, like the ones who live in a place where there are no arcades. I juggled the tokens in my claw, thinking what to do with them next, while spotting a nearby racing game. Initial Dino. True classic. I made my way over and took a seat, tail falling off the side. Naomi approached. What are you doing? I'm playing. What else? I just don't understand why people spend money on stuff like this. Well, what do you do with your free time? Well, I study, of course. Cool. What do you do for a hobby? Study? Hold on. Is that really all you do when you're not at school? Well, yeah. I read as well. Well, what do you read then? Well, textbooks and self-help romantic books. I guess that's finally a hobby. Wait. What was that? My eyes widened, and she realized what she had just said as pure shock overtook her face. Oh, it's muzzle instead of snout. Damn. Like I said, this chapter is a bit better. It feels like the author is actually learning the basics. Why am I telling you this? I don't know. I just asked you what you were reading, and you decided to tell me. Why'd you bring something like that up? Well, because you asked, Anon. It's like both of them just forgot what actually happened. Like the author keeps forgetting that these characters have already established certain plot points. You don't have to repeat them endlessly. There's no confidence. There's no fucking confidence. Naomi didn't answer and said, coming up to the arcade machine sitting in the other car seat. Well, just play the damn game already. Fine. I inserted the token and offered Naomi one, though she shook her head at it with a dismissive hand. Absolutely not. Admittedly, her rejection just made me more curious about how exactly Naomi would play, considering that she'd never been to an arcade before. So, I did a bit of gaslighting. Well, that's no good. You're gonna break the rule of the arcade. The rule of the arcade. Whoa. Yeah, well, anyone who sits in the seat of a racing game is obliged to play. That sounds like something you just made up. She responded with crossed arms. But it's the truth. I then nodded to two passerbys who were eyeing the arcade machine we were playing, perhaps planning to go next, so I just continued to spin my false narrative. See, they're already giving you the stink eye. Naomi looked at them briefly. Also, we get double peer. We get peer, and look. Jesus! I'd like to remind you that a sentence we had in this is, looked up as she was looking up. So, yeah. Holy crap, she was actually believing this. Now that I thought about it, did the perception of others matter that much to Naomi? Fuck, come to think of it. It hadn't mattered to me as much in my life. I wanted to be seen as a loser, or seen as anything at all. And in regard to my hobbies, well, I was the one out there wanted to call her out for lacking any. What the hell have I done in my past life other than play video games and browse? I mean, those are hobbies. You might not think that they're hobbies in the traditional sense, but like, you know, video games are a hobby, and spending your time writing creatively, even if it's a shitpost, that is a hobby. Not a rude hobby, but it's a hobby. A hobby is work you do for fun, and considering that psyops exist nowadays, and people have entire cyber departments that just post fake comments or run AI bots to post fake comments, like, I don't know, man. It's work. You just don't think about it quite yet, because you were born before that time. If this was a glass out, I'd bust it out a machine gun and went ham on the inside. It came as a brief shock to me that I kind of related with her in that aspect. I was broken out of my stupor by the sound of a loud ding indicating that now two players were playing. Naomi had inserted the token and looked at me. Alright, now what? Well, you just go ahead and choose a car. She dragged through a bunch of options, frowning at every swipe. I still think, like, why don't you use the steering wheel for this? Which one of these vehicles is the most environmentally friendly? I don't think Naomi cares about that. Like, for all the shit she gives, I don't know if she's the kind of person to be like that. Just because she's vegan. She's vegan out of necessity, not because she wants to, you know? Anyway, we're at the section where they're about to start playing, so how about we turn on they're about to start playing music. No, I suppose not. It's a bit louder than the others. No, I suppose. No, I suppose not. Naomi admitted, stopping at the option she was currently on before continuing. How do I select it? She just pressed the gas pedal. She did as instructed, selecting the vehicle, which happened to be a fancy European car. I went for the flagship vehicle, an ordinary black and white hatchback, before locking in. The screen changed. Two of our cars were at the makeshift starting line as the timer counted down. You know, I think part of the reason why Inko does not know video games in the other game is so that when they go to the arcade, we get this weird outsider perspective. You know. Alright, I don't think I have to explain the controls. Just drive like you would in a real car. I could see her from the corner of my eye revving up her car. And once the time finished, we were off. Oh, well, I was off, speeding down the street at maximum speed, while Naomi seemed to drive as slow as she possibly could. Naomi, you're supposed to win the race. And break traffic laws? Don't you know you're only supposed to go 30 miles an hour in urban areas? That's still very fast, man. That's like 50 kilometers, Jesus. If this was real life, you would have been pulled over and I would have been commended for safe driving. And then she stops in front of a stop sign. I like that Naomi is like, I'll get a commendation. Yeah, sure thing, Naomi. Cops hand those out like cookies. I used to think it was a meme. I realized being this unused to video game was an actual disorder. You just admitted that some people weren't, didn't. Jesus Christ, Anon, just pick a lane. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. This isn't exactly real life, in case you haven't noticed. The game is telling you that you suck. What? Naomi gasped, taking notice of the giant S word at the bottom of the screen. The S standing for sucky, probably. Needless to say, that... Oh, they have that long cooldown that a lot of... Needless to say, that she had finally put a game face on. Eyes narrowed behind her glasses before she stepped on the pedal. To her credit, she was getting the hang of it, making clear headway and catching up to my car despite the slow start. Benefit of a lot of racing games is if the mechanics aren't too complex, it's easy to pick up. They're actually pretty good at this. I am? I looked away from my screen to see a smile on her face. I didn't expect that. It did distract me long enough to accidentally crash against a street lamp, something she capitalized upon as she bypassed my car. Huh, now I'm winning, she proclaimed. I put my focus back in the game face on. I like how you used the term game face twice in rapid succession, even though Anon is technically already trying, so where'd your game face go, buddy? Should've put it on way earlier. This is how you lose. Not for long. Two of us continued racing through the first lap, and we let out a cross between an eep and a whoop, barreling through a few crates as I took a shortcut through a building. Holy shit. I was actually having a good time with Naomi. There was a sentence I never thought to hear, which gave me a moment to look away from the screen to her. Sounds like someone's finally having fun. She froze up, the car briefly doing the same as we approached the second lap. I suppose I am. A few moments of silence passed between the both of us, just focusing on our respective sides for names. Why didn't you just tell him? I blinked at the question, eyes still on the screen, while my head tilted. Tell who what? Nasser, why didn't you just tell him about what I'm really like? That you read self-help romantic books? No! Naomi put her head against the wheel, honking loudly as both of our vehicles came to a stop. Then I'm not truly who he thinks I am. You've known him for like a couple of weeks now, but what the fuck are you taking? It'd be so easy for you two. You're one of his childhood friends after all, and I'm just... She didn't finish that thought. I was too stunned to ask on. I just wonder where the hell this even came from before I noticed that both of us scored with fat S's now. Which gave me ample time to think before responding. I don't hate you that much. Oh, gee, thanks. Hey, I'm being serious. As much of a Machiavellian pain in the ass you can be at times, I don't think you deserve to be completely ostracized for it.
Or worse.
My claws left the driving wheel. You shouldn't be pinching it that hard anyway. But the way you are talking to me now, like I'm supposed to know you, or what you mean or feel. Hell, do you even know who you are? Yeah. I don't ever care about that. I was about to ask what she meant when I noticed she stand up off her seat. Wait. As she noticed her stand up from her seat, her teeth gritted as she huffed in annoyance, having clearly revealed something she was not comfortable with. This was a huge waste of my time. I'm going to look for Nasser. Hey, wait! And a loud clack was heard, echoing through the arcade. Time for the mid-season turnaround.